Good Lord, there's so many.
Premier Racing Setups is the longest running setup shop on iRacing. Our monthly subscription options start as low as $20 a month. We offer setups for dirt oval, asphalt oval, and road racing, covering a wide range of cars and skill levels. Built and tested by top-tier sim racers, this isn't just a business, it's a community of competitive drivers. If you want to better your iRacing experience, head over to PremierRacingSetups.com today. And remember, if you don't get one, you're going to chase one.
Okay. 3, 2. Welcome to the iRacers Lounge. I am your host, Mike Ellis. iRacers Lounge is a podcast for the iRacer where we talk all things iRacing in a casual setting. Joining me are the usual characters. Greg Hectus. Oh, you're back.
I was going to say I'm not usual, but I'm back finally.
Welcome back in a new man cave. Looks pretty good. Brad Wren.
Daytona's in the rear view, and Atlanta's not much different.
David Hall.
I have to agree with the late and great David Poole on what should be done about the plate tracks.
And John Curley. Daytona 500 winner, John Curley.
Hey, glad to be back. I have healed and am ready to go.
Boy, are you. On today's show, we revisit the Formula Class discussion, recap the first week of the IRLP NASCAR Fantasy League, go down the rabbit hole of the digital dashboards, see if we can spend Brad's money while trying to save Mike's, find out when NIS divisions were assigned, and will the famous Nordschleife need a rescan?
Great, Mike, and remember that you can follow along with us on your PC or your mobile device in real time as you listen to the show and see for yourself all the great topics and products we'll discuss by visiting iRacersLounge.com. Select the show notes. We hope to see you there.
So a great way to start off a pro qualifier series is to get disqualified, isn't it, Mike?
Well, we're talking about the truck race, and they had, I guess, would you call it a special guest? Carson Hocevar is the winner. And then, so eNASCAR post up in their Instagram, the video of Carson Hocevar winning the race. But in the chat, you can see Carson said that he had been, disqualified from the race. He later put, earlier today, we won the appeal. Gotta love the eNASCAR court.
So he did win the appeal. Yeah, the comments, somehow they got waved by. Him and some other drivers were waved by coming to the green or something. I don't know exactly what happened.
Yeah, I never quite figured out what happened, but
I didn't see it, but it happened to me in a Daytona 500, so I can tell you what probably happened. What happened to us anyway? If a caution comes out as after when the leader has entered the pit road, it causes the race control to just go really stupid, and that happened in our case. We were in the middle of the green flag stops, and the entire field essentially got waved by coming, when we were coming to 1 to green. So that's probably what happened. That would be my best guess.
As far as I know, these are official series that, they're not having some human throw the cautions and do this and that. So
This is split too.
Yeah, but
it's
apparently
it's the truck series pro race, right? Or pro qualifier, like
well,
the road
it's
to pro.
Pro qualifier. Yeah, but apparently I guess Carson and whoever else was with them were protested by somebody or multiple people in the race. So that was what ended up being the appeal.
Yeah, but if the sim is saying go around the pace car, what are you going to do? So that's probably why he won the appeal, I'd guess. But how cool is it, though? I think that Carson Hocevar is a rising star in the top level of NASCAR. And what is he doing in his spare time? Coming in here and racing with these guys. I think it's freaking cool.
Well, I suppose if he qualifies, he could just start Coast and Hartsville Racing and pay his own way into the Pro Series.
Ouch.
Maybe you have a chance at a win then.
All right. Oh, he's getting pretty close. It might happen this year. All right. So this next one is a little Facebook reel. Go ahead, Greg.
That's okay. Keep going.
He was real close. He was leading on the white, right?
And he didn't make it to turn one.
Was it? All right, iRacing equals eye warming. I've seen stuff kind of like this happen, but not this specific one. This is a Facebook reel, and essentially a guy is concentrating on warming up his tires, and the green comes out, and he's still weaving, and he gets basically plowed by the guy behind him.
Isn't this on the...
It's a little much.
I was just going to say he's weaving a lot.
Situational awareness. Come on.
But the other thing is it not the guy behind's responsibility not to run him over? He sees what he's doing and he still accelerates. Like, you can't go if somebody's in front of you.
Maybe
right?
the guy behind him. Right, you're right. You can hear the gas of his engine take off and he just runs through him. But, I'm sure he's got people right behind him ready to go too.
Yeah, if you don't go at all when the green comes out, there's going to be a pileup. It's not the whole field is not going to sit there and wait. And additionally, if this is a prototype, the other prototype class is probably behind them, in the GTs are probably behind them. And anytime the leader waits until green to go, it usually is chaos. You should really just almost always, if you're the leader, go early, unless you just want everybody to wreck out, and that's part of your strategy.
I'm not, just so you know, I'm not placing all the blame on the second place guy. I mean, he's, you got to be defensive driver too when you're out there, but that guy should have been paying attention when he was way too excessive of warming tires.
All right, what is this next article about, Brad? Something with 20 years at Daytona.
Yeah, forum post from Nick Neben. So 20 years ago, iRacing takes on Daytona. So February 17, 2006, truck race. Todd Bodine was sponsored by iRacing. So just kind of a neat post. Got some nice pictures here in the actual press release. When it happened and some video footage as well. But yeah, it's pretty cool. It was neat to see that and be like, oh, wow, that's big time back then.
What year did Toyota come into the truck series? It's got to be right around that time too, right?
I think this is their 20th. This is their 20th year in Cup, so that would have put them probably a year or two before. So I'm guessing probably 2004, 2005.
So this would be maybe second.
Wow, some of the names on this list. You mentioned Todd Bodine, but I see Ted Musgrave, Mike Skinner, Jack Sprague. Man, these names from the truck series back in the day really bring back some memories. Pretty cool.
Is that Mark Martin on the top?
It is.
All right, Mike, we have a Formula Class follow-up. We went into discussion about this. Was it last week we talked about this? And we even had some follow-up from some of the listeners on Discord that everyone. I want to discuss after we cover the video.
Well, just like last week, I'm going to say right up front, later in the show, we have a Indy Next schedule announced, an NIS style schedule for the Indy Next, and so that's going to change the whole discussion again, I presume. But yes, we have a video here from La Broca Sim Racing discussing potential fixes for the broken Formula Racing career ladder. And it's similar to that video that from email Bernstoff from last week. The core issue addresses the lack of participation and splits in the mid to high level Formula Series compared to sports car. Well, first I want to say what happened, in Discord this week. I mean, I think the discussion was, well, even today in real life, there's not a lot of IndyCar drivers. There's 20 of them, 22 of them, right? Or whatever. And then, but there's a lot of junior Formula drivers, if you think about it. And so one of the listeners was saying, real life, participation does match iRacing participation. And it's right if you look at it in that manner, but I still don't like it.
Well, not only is the IndyCar series, barely alive, but within iRacing, the fact that it went to that game that never got built certainly didn't help. So that's probably cost some participation as well.
Does it also hurt that?
Oh,
Sorry, Mike. Does it also hurt that there is no main F1 tier that's supported? Like the FIA doesn't have. You don't have the actual F1 cars in here, so it kind of just defeats the purpose of progressing because you only have one F1 car to go up to.
yeah. And I think in iRacing, the F1 car is an equivalent to the Indy car or equivalent to the Super Formula.
Well, I mean,
One of the things that, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I mean, you talk about the IndyCar series being somewhat dead. Let's look at the real world IndyCar series. It doesn't get much viewership. It doesn't have that great of a following. I mean, let's be honest, comparing NASCAR to sports cars. I mean, IndyCar is, I mean, they typically get beat by drag racing and other, other motorsports. I mean, when it comes to viewership.
Yeah. I was referring to real IndyCar, not just iRacing IndyCar when I was discussing it. Yeah.
Well, don't they also just?
So the proposed.
Go ahead, Mike.
Well, I was going to go through the proposed solution here in the video, which is really good. Declutter Class C, which is a good job, a good idea. There's a lot of stuff to run. Retire the F3 entirely. I agree. I don't run the F3. Move the IndyCar next up to Class B. Make Super Formula Lights the sole Class C option to funnel all drivers into one competitive pool. I don't know about that. I mean, where does F4 belong? So I don't think he addresses that. But then revamp Class B and A. Put Indy Next as the primary B, which is a good idea. And then IndyCar is Class A. Make it the pinnacle of the daily Formula racing due to its drivability. Promote the IndyCar to Class A. And then shift the niche cars to special events. Remove high difficulty cars like the Super Formula and the Formula One from daily rotation. I don't know about that, but it's an extreme idea.
What
We
class
want
level
cars
is,
removed?
what class level is the current IndyCar? B?
Yes.
And I'm sure the NIS series or that IIS series is probably Class C.
It's a good idea. I like the idea because you're removing these very, the cars that don't even get really populated, Super Formula, Formula One. I like the idea of special events and that kind of stuff, but it really would funnel people into the IndyCar, and then you have a true ladder.
All right. So every year at Daytona, they have rigs set up, and we've got some pictures of that as well. The first one, I think this one was. This looks like this is more in the it's in the infield, closer to the actual area where all the souvenir shops are. I'm not sure about the first one. The second one is up on top of somebody's motorhome.
That's crazy. He dragged his rig up to the top of the motorhome. Not one, but two rigs. The whole setup, steering wheel and computers and everything, up on top of the RV so they could race up there. We got reports here from none other than Dale Hanhart, who is famous for wrecking Justin Pearson and the entire field, going a lap down in the Daytona 500 recently. But I digress. Yeah, he put up a video and saying, "God bless Starlink." Another one, racing Daytona in Daytona. I can't believe it.
Moving on, John, we've got a racing venue opening up, a sim racing venue.
We do. We've got another one. It's in Nashville, 5 minutes from downtown. I think it's called Swervin' Nashville. They put a post on looks like Instagram, just a quick video showing the inside of the place. They've got the Podium One motion rigs. Looks like they've got some arcade games going on, shuffleboard and things. It's good to see these things popping up. Should do pretty good in Nashville. I think that's a good race crowd there. So hope they succeed.
It does look like nice equipment. I see a Heiskensveld shifter, Heiskensveld handbrake, like you said, John, a Podium 4 post rig, motion rig. I can't tell what the steering wheel is, but triple monitors, pretty cool.
Ace Tech wheel and base.
Oh, the LEDs down the side give it up, right?
Well, it's just the ugly button box that gives it up. The whole
Ooh.
shape of the wheel. It's just ugly.
So, Brad, how do you end up with a 5,000 I rating and actually quite a few 3,000 I ratings as well, all the way up in Division 3? Or all the way down in Division 3, actually. I said it backwards.
Well, and even in some lower divisions. So there was a discussion started in our group chat regarding NIS divisions. And David and I were both pretty quick to make the claim that the NIS divisions were set the week of the first race, which I was pretty confident was the case. But apparently it's not. So I decided I'd go to the forums and ask the question, when are these set? Because I'm seeing some very high I rating drivers in very low divisions. Well, apparently the start of season 1 is when the NIS divisions are started. So approximately, 8 weeks before the actual start of the NIS season, you're locked into whatever division you're in. So what ends up happening is you got guys that had low I ratings, take the next 8 weeks and build their I ratings up. So now you got guys that are 3 or 4K going to be racing in that higher split, but are sitting in some Division 3, 4, and even 5 level divisions. So, a lot of banter back and forth on this forum post. There's certain forum members that, are very fond of their opinions, and their opinions are never wrong. But look, it just doesn't make sense if you're going to take virtually a year-long series and you're going to determine the divisions 8 weeks before it actually starts. We got to do better than that, iRacing. It just makes absolutely no sense whatsoever to do that. It just causes issues.
Especially after what we saw happen with the Daytona 24, with those guys being signed up for iRacing for basically a month and, then getting 500 incident points. This is bad. I could have sworn a couple of years ago we saw evidence that somebody specifically tanked during December and January for the division that Bobby was in, and then shot back up right as NIS started. And he was down in a lower division. So I'm wondering, I would love to hear a response on whether it's actually always been this way, or if this was a stealth change. Either way, just like you said, it's bad, it's dumb. You have a 5K I rating in Division 3. That's just completely pointless to
How
even
hard
have
would
the
it be
divisions.
for them to fix it, David? Like, could they just reshuffle the division splits and reapply them a week into the season?
Apply the divisions when NIS starts.
Well, duh, that's what we want, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
because I already, we're only a week in, and I'm already discouraged about running for points because I have in my division a bunch of people that are already in top split. Like they're going to make double the points that I make.
Well, I think that they're gonna, you know, I think the hardest part is probably it's ingrained in the code that they've done it this way forever, and I don't think that's gonna change. That's the biggest problem. Is it's how it's been written for so many years. Um, how do you change that section of the code? Can they start the season a different way? Does it? My question is, does it work the same way for the IndyCar series? I guess would be coming up in the next little bit here too to start. So it's probably gonna have the same problem unless it starts in season 2.
No, February 28th. So if it follows the same procedure, those
We are-
divisions were ranked 3 months ago.
So yeah,
It's almost 3 months.
That's crazy though.
But
They
I don't
can't.
think it's
They
always been
all the
this way,
crazy
Greg.
stuff.
I really don't.
I don't think so either. And if all of the programming stuff they can do, you could freaking have an AI bot go through and fix the divisions. This is just unless they come on and say, hey, no, unless I hear them say we just can't do it, I see it as lazy coding.
I'm
That's what I
thinking
see it
it's.
as.
From what I'm saying, David, is I'm not saying they can't do it. Is it on their radar as something they actually care about doing? That might be more of a question. It might have to be more of an outrage.
Probably not.
It might have to be more of an outrage for them to actually do something about it.
Probably not, because none of them have responded to it, and all of the question. I mean, yeah, probably not. We'll see. They haven't. We'll see if we get an answer or not.
Well,
But,
I mean, it just tells you what to do. So when NIS finishes up, then as soon as season 1 starts, come next year, all I'm gonna do is do nothing but run A Open or whatnot, and just try to drive my I rating up. That's the only thing to do. Get locked into Division 2 or wherever I'm gonna be, and then just try to drive my I rating up. That's no different than tanking, in my opinion.
It's the reverse tank.
Well, that's obviously what this guy that's done it's in a Division 3 with a 5,100 I rating. He didn't, Division 3 is probably going to be 28 under 3 at least. Under. I mean, his I rating is probably almost double what the cutoff is.
But he's basically a new iRacer, right? So when the divisions were set, he was around 1,500, and he's just skyrocketed. So, question: is he new to iRacing, or is it a Smurf account? So he's just he just started it and it shot up. Either way, there's got to be something. I have not liked it in the past, but I'm starting to like Tony's idea of you hit a certain I rating and you just immediately jump up to the next division and can't ever go back down. Even mid-season changes. Just for example, in MEC, or is it MEC? Yeah, in MEC, if they watch you racing and you qualified as a silver and you're scoring a podium in the top split every time, they're going to make you a gold before the season's over. They'll adjust it to work on the spirit of the law instead of just
I don't know about that idea though.
Happen.
Look, let's say I'm Division 3 grinding for a championship there. In the top 2 or 3 year points. And then all of a sudden I made enough I rating that I'm bumped to Division 2 and now I'm 30th, 40th in points in Division 2. I don't think that's right.
Then leave the 5,000 I rating in there.
Well, but that's my point is if we all start at the same starting spot, that moment in time, regardless of whatever's happened, if we all start at the same time, then what happens with your I rating? Good for you. You've been racing in theory, similar people of skill level. But again, my whole issue is there needs to be a snap point in time where, okay, here's the guys you're racing with because you're at a similar iRating level at that point, not 7 or 8 weeks prior is when it's being set.
Well, look, you made a forum post. We're talking about it on the show. Hopefully they'll see it and make some adjustments. But that's really what we were hoping to do is they make adjustments or at least fix it for the future.
Well, what are they fixing at Nordschleife? I think Mike should
Well, I
take this
found
one.
this yeah. So I found this video of a person at the actual Nürburgring Nordschleife documenting on video for us some changes that have happened at this track where they've actually moved the fence or the wall actually closer to the track instead of farther away. And they've narrowed up the walls. And I think the idea is just to contain the cars. And so they don't have a runoff and then they hit a wall. There's just already, there's the track and then there's a wall. And it also looks like at the edge of the track, they paved a little bit on the edge where you can actually run your tires right up against the wall as well. It's not like proper dirt or grass. So, yeah, I don't know how old the Nordschleife scan is that we have in iRacing. When I see the Nordschleife on a Assetto Corsa, it looks quite different than the version I see on iRacing, and so I'm not really clear which one is more up to date.
It's probably, gosh, 10 plus. It's got to be. Because we had the Nordschleife when I was on before I moved in 16, so it's got to be 10 plus years.
Right. So I'm calling it. We need a rescan of my favorite track.
You know what that would cost for them to do? Probably again. Probably a lot.
But no, well, not as
the
much.
tools
as it
are
cost
way
the
different.
first. I was going to say, not as much as the first time. I mean, they used to have to go out and set the tripod up and scan sections and do all that stuff. Now it's what, drone, cars, and everything else. I mean, the scanning is much easier now.
Well, and Mike, you were saying Assetto Corsa is probably different. They're going off of, I don't think Assetto Corsa scanned it. They're going off of photos and recreations. I don't think they have any actual scanning in there, do they?
Yeah, I think if they don't scan it themselves, they're probably using scan data, I believe.
One thing that throws me off when I see videos from Assetto Corsa is the elevation changes aren't the same as in iRacing. The elevation changes are off a bit. Because I have that stuff memorized by now. I guarantee I can close my eyes and do a whole lap with my eyes closed kind of thing. And so when I see an Assetto Corsa video on that track and I see the elevate like a valley where you go down or up or something, I'm like, wait a minute, that's not the right down and up. It goes down but not enough or something like that. So I don't know if they have a scan.
All right, I'll introduce this next one. We have a GT3 tire temp drop if you reset during qualifying. Stephen Garemog, I've just slaughtered your name. Sorry. He found that if you reset, your temperature tires are colder than when you first load the setup. But if you reset, reload the set, and then spawn, the temperatures are back higher. And he has a couple of screenshots showing the difference, and he's already gotten a response on this particular one saying that it by Michael Hinkle, a staff member, saying that it's been marked as a bug and they'll be looking into it in the physics side. I don't know if this is happening in the other cars or not.
I think it is from what I could see skimming through this. I actually ran into this 2 weeks ago in the grassroots racing. We were at Spa, and I looped it on my qualifying run. So I reset to the pits, because I did a long slide, never spun the car all the way out. But of course, qualifying's like, oh, we don't like that. You're going to have to reset. So when I reset, I was like, whoa, my tires are like 90 some degrees. So that threw me off, but it is what it is. I didn't think about going in and trying to reloading the set or anything. I just, because of time, I just, immediately reset and went back to the pits. But yeah, I was shocked that they were not at the normal 112 or whatever it is typically coming out and qualifying.
I wonder if this is happening in practice too. Like if you're just resetting and not reloading the set, if you're starting with colder tires.
There's no heated tires qualifying wise in practice. That's the difference there. I think practice is always going to be the same temp when you come out.
So they're actually artificially warmed.
Yes, for qualifying, they are artificially warm. Same thing with race. Race, when you get on the grid, they're usually 110, something like that, 112. So about the same thing with qualifying. But yeah, they are artificially warmed.
How warm are they if you spin out right before the green?
Now wait, they did that because why? Why did they do that?
Do what?
Because real life
artificially make them warm when we grid.
Because in real life, yeah, like I'm sure Dave's gonna say, in real life, you'd have probably 1 or 2 warm-up laps where you can get some heat in the tires. But we don't have.
Okay, they're simulating that. I see.
Yes. Same thing with qualifying, is they're trying to give you a little bit warmer tire to go out on. We don't have. You got 2 laps, 8 minutes. You don't have enough time. I mean, for the most part, whether GTP or GT3, it almost takes 2 hard laps to get the tires up to temp. So.
Yeah, and it's more than just 2 laps. They have quite a few parade laps, right? Where they can get heat in there. So it is pretty important, especially if you end up starting with the short pit, like the short restart zones that they sometimes start at. Which some of the shortest tracks, we have these really, really short stops, and then Road America, you always have to go all the way around. It's really logical. All right, Greg, what about iRacing Arcade?
All right, so from the iRacing Arcade, I guess this is Instagram. Yeah, Instagram. It's coming to Steam March 3rd. I'm going to read from another thing. I got an article here that I was looking at earlier today too. So it'll be releasing March 3rd, with it coming to Xbox and PlayStation later in the summer. It's going to players will be able to compete across a variety of licensed championships such as the FI Formula 4, Porsche Cup, and a load of series under the IMSA umbrella, taking on many tracks including established iRacing favorites like Tsukuba, Imola, and the newly added Miami Grand Prix. They also will be featuring tracks that they do not have is the Bahrain International and Paul Ricard and Kill Me. Sorry if I butchered that. The career mode also, players can build their team with a customized base and operation with garages, engines, and chassis shops, along with research and development buildings that will unlock unique in-race bonuses. There's also a level of team management that allows players to manage multiple series at once, either competing in themselves or to hire NPCs. So it sounds like they've got it built out to be a couple hour experience or to play around for a bit.
So the idea is because it's on Steam, I can do it on PC.
Steam's PC and there's like, I don't know if you've heard, there's handhelds like Steam Deck and ROGs, Allies, and stuff like that you can run Steam on. So it's kind of just gets, actually with also the new Steam Machine type thing too that they're doing, where you can have a PC based at your house or at your TV console area instead of at your PC.
Does it support triples?
I would guess it's a single monitor game. There's no need for triples in it because it looks like third person or scenery view type game.
Right.
Glorified Mario Kart with cars.
It's not more Mario Kart, because Mario Kart, you have the power-ups. This don't really give you power-ups. You're just running races from the outside view. cartoony, I guess. Like,
Yeah, but this was done off of what? This collaboration with what was it? Cart some
what's the thing? I'm trying to think of the name of
cart
it here.
cart stars or something.
Give me one sec. I have the game on Steam here. Way too many Steam games. Circuit Superstars is what it was called.
All right, this next one's a real quick hit. A fella on the iRacing forums asked if there is a certificate for the Daytona 500 with it being a special event, and the answer is yes. And the guy shows a screenshot from Split 14, second place. So
Yeah, but
it
that's
takes
from
him a while.
last year, though. We don't have the certificates yet. I just looked for mine. No certificate yet.
Yeah, I don't have mine either.
Is that something where they have to click a button to process them, or should it be pretty automated?
I don't know, but I just went to profile and looked under certificates, and the last one I had was our third place in the 24 hours.
Probably should reply to that thread then and say, where is this year's?
Look, I'm not going to babysit iRacing, man. They got to get their stuff together. I mean, we're more than a week out from that race. They should have these out already.
Babysitting iRacing, title idea.
Should these, like, you guys were talking about using AI to rewrite something. Like, should these be auto generated? Like, wouldn't it be easy just to generate names onto a thing depending on where you finish?
You're talking about a company of developers, software developers. If they don't have this automated, shame on them. Shame on them. And it obviously isn't. I mean, or we would have had them by now.
All right, let's talk Sim Racing M Expo in Charlotte, North Carolina, May 22nd through the 24th. We've got do we have some new announcements, Brad?
We do. So SimiCube will be there. That was announced this past week, and also Conspit as well. So continuing to see more and more hardware manufacturers saying that they're going to attend. And then I threw this other one on here. This is an Instagram post. So the Sim Gaming Expo, or Sim Racing Expo, sorry, has a podcast, and the one from this week I thought was a pretty good listen. I know we're a podcast suggesting you go listen to another podcast, but they had an interview with Raymond Smith, and he runs the eNASCAR for NASCAR. So he works with iRacing and NASCAR to put all this together. He's been there for about 5 years or so, 5 or 6 years. Really interesting episode. Just kind of get a look behind the scenes a little bit of what goes on with the esports. Kind of talks about coming through COVID and stuff like that. So if you got to check it, you can give it a listen. But I thought it was pretty interesting.
All right, now we're going to talk events. Mike, the first thing we have is a new Porsche series.
The Porsche Esports Carrera Cup North America series is launched. The graphic says Carrera Cup Esports Series launched. And they give, starting March 18th at Sebring, March 25th, Miami, and then so on. And it's going to feature the Porsche 911 Cup, which is a 992.2, anchors a 6-race esports championship. It's designed to replicate Porsche's premier one-make series in North America, detail for detail. We got an announcement from Porsche as well, like a press release about it on their website. This is going to be the inaugural season, so it looks like it's something they're going to do yearly. There's a forum post as well about it. So yeah, get involved if you can.
All right, Brad, it looks like you need to win an MPI wheel.
Yeah, we've had this on for the last couple weeks. But just a reminder, the MPI Challenge, the time attack was actually going through today. So I'm not sure exactly what time that does cut off on the 18th. But the opportunity to qualify. Championship race will be on the 25th of February. And as we shared an episode ago or two, some of the gifts are MPI gift cards, iRacing credits, and whatnot. So, Marcus Stock car at Charlotte is your time attack.
And then we have the Bathurst 12 hour coming up. It's all GT3 cars, and I've been practicing for this, and I am not 100% confident we're going to run it. I am really struggling. I'm 3 seconds off of the slowest other cars, and I'm spinning out at the top of the hill every time. So I'm going to have Tom. Tom's going to practice some tonight, and I'm going to see how he reacts to the same situation. It's the 4 start times and 12 hours.
So, can we get iRacing to simulate a kangaroo crossing the road?
We talk about that all the time because can we simulate kangaroos? Can we simulate track failures? What about a bird strike or maybe shoes being thrown out on the track? We get enough
Beer can?
Beer can.
Yeah, beer cans or shoes.
Wouldn't that be cool at Talladega? You win the race and then you pull along the front stretch and they start throwing all their beer cans out.
That's only if you have a Jeff Gordon paint job and you over there you tie Dale Earnhardt.
Yes, these are things we need to be worried about more than race control.
And division.
I want the simulated kangaroo that jumps in front of you at Bathurst. Somebody keep telling me, one of my listeners say I don't say it right. It's Bathurst.
I'm pretty sure I say Bathurst as well. But it is a Bathurst.
Then they should have 2 H's in it.
Well, Aussies do things the way they want to do them.
Welcome
Then,
to English.
The other H is upside down.
all right, you already previewed it earlier, Mike. We have the NEX or NXT series coming out this year.
They just call it Indy Next, yeah. But yeah, the Indy Next series, as I alluded to, has a NIS style schedule now with 4 time slots. Now, interestingly, these are Saturday and Sunday only. And if I'm not mistaken, these do line up pretty well with the IndyCar iRacing series as well, as far as schedule and timing. So you can like run this one, then run the other one.
Yeah, it's pretty much the exact same schedule track-wise.
Is it open or fixed?
Open, I understand.
Okay, yeah.
And so,
because the NIS is fixed only on Saturday, so Saturday's kind of wide open.
So
The
look,
Sunday
if you're an open wheeler, you got something to run. I mean, you can run this, you can run the IndyCar series, you can run them in tandem. You could fill up your weekends.
Well, those Sunday time slots aren't exactly American-friendly time slots.
GM?
1 a.m. GMT. That's what 8 or 9 o'clock at night in Eastern Time Zone.
Yeah, but is that Saturday night?
Yeah, that's Saturday night, I guess.
Yeah, look, I'm always looking for something to run Saturday night. That might work out for
And
me.
then 0400. That is 10. That's 10 p.m. So yeah, it might be the prime time spot actually on Saturday night, the Sunday 1 p.m. G.
So are the Sunday ones are technically Saturday nights for the Eastern Time Zone?
Yeah, so it's going to be Friday night, Saturday night, right? Or am I wrong?
No, 0900 is 0300.
That's 3 a.m.
on Saturday.
3 a.m.
And then
12 o'clock.
1
o'clock.
No, 1 o'clock. Yeah. And that's before daylight savings time hits. It's going to get confusing when that hits. Don't forget, Mike.
Mike doesn't know what daylight savings is.
And I've been told I'm going to be bidding on a new schedule going to start on May 6th. I have no idea what my days off are going to be or what my hours will be. So this will be fun.
Incoming podcast change.
All right, we got a couple of weekends before this one comes up, but we do have the MEC Round 2 Sebring 6 Hour coming up. And we'll be running. Me and Tom are going to go ahead and switch over to the GTP because we enjoy driving it more. So we'd rather be last place in that than last place in the LMP2.
Okay.
Isn't it a weekend in March, Brad?
Yeah. So I think it's the 7th is when it is. So yeah, myself and the Williams will be doing the Mercedes. So yeah, GT3.
Then we have VCO Infinity 6. Tell us about this one, John.
So this is it's back for this year. It's a 24-hour race. They're going to have 24 races in 24 hours. They're going to run, I think, 5 different cars: GTP, Acura, SR10 Radical, NASCAR trucks, for the FF 1600, and the SFL, the Super Formula Lights. It's going to be run at, I think, 5 tracks. They're going to have Fuji, Road America, Silverstone, Okayama, and then the Charlotte Roval. So that I've never participated in this, but man, you got an interesting mix of cars and tracks there.
That reminds me years ago when they did the uh, region, or Canada, the United States, like all the countries, and they had, I think it was 4 different races you had to do in one day.
The clubs.
Yeah.
All right, and then we have the Majors individual event coming up, which is also at Sebring, but this will be in throwback cars. It's 2 hours at Sebring, and you have the Aston Martin GT1, the Corvette GT1, and the HPD.
HPD, boy, that's.
I'll probably run the HPD because I've run it before. I don't think I own either one of the others.
That Corvette was a badass car.
That's what I'm running.
That's one of the nicest. That was one of the nicest cars back then. Sorry, David.
What was the Corvette that was around before the LMP1 came out? That used to be the top class.
Oh, you're talking about the Lara stuff that it used to be. It was the Daytona prototypes.
Back when it was ALMS, American Le Mans Series.
Yeah. And
well, in iRacing, there was a Corvette of some kind that ran as the top class, and then HPD was the middle class.
Yeah, it was a Corvette DP, Daytona prototype.
And then before that, it just used to be a Dallara DP, didn't it? I think the original one was a Dallara DP.
Yes. Yep.
I don't think I ever had that one. I just had one of the first ones I ran was the Corvette.
The original,
and it was really, really hard to run.
I believe the original they tried to simulate at 24 hours when the servers could only be like 3 hours. They did a 2.4 hour race, and I think the original Daytona was with that Dallara DP.
Anything else this week, Brad?
As we said, Bathurst, just a couple some of the regional stuff. We got the FIA F4 regional tour. The challenge is at Suzuka. America is at Long Beach. Asia Pacific is at Mount Panorama. And then Europe is at Hockenheimring. And then the GT3 regional tours. Americas are at Mexico, Mexico City. Asia Pacific is at Bathurst. And then Europe is at Monza.
Podcast housekeeping. Leave us a review on your favorite podcast platform to make it easier for more listeners to find the podcast. Please mention the podcast to your fellow drivers so they don't miss out. We would appreciate it. Check out the Discord and get involved in the discussion. You were on Discord this week. You would have heard about my spending Mike's money situation with dashboards. We also have our show notes at iRacersLounge.com. Make sure to check that out. We are in regular rotation at Performance Motorsports Network. And you can get your merchandise at iRacersLounge.shop.
All right, Brad, who won the lottery? I mean, the fantasy.
All right, so we've back into fantasy season, and first race of the year, Daytona 500. I give out a shout to the Trenster Turtle with the win. Second was Race Addict. I'm sorry, tied for second, Race Addict, and hang on, I gotta blow this up. I can't see it. Getting old. Sorry, guys. Bill L. Platinum 3 was tied for second. The Faster Will is fourth, and then Bobby Jonas fifth. So, good start to the season so far. Be interesting this year because there won't be a playoff. So, since it'll just be points, points are going to be important every single week. So, Daytona 500. I don't know. This one felt a little bit different. I don't know why per se. Maybe because we've kind of gotten all of the trial stuff behind us, and then with the points change, it was so nice to never hear the words, "Hey, you're locked in to the playoffs" after the win. That was nice.
So I got to ask. I mean, you didn't call out my name in the top 5 there, Brad, but I'm looking at my fantasy lineup, and I have Tyler Reddick. I have Tyler Reddick picked. I have Carson Hocevar picked. How come I'm 28th in points?
Because the other people that you picked, I guess. I don't know.
Ooh, Alex Bowman, Austin Dillon, Joey Logano. Ouch.
Wrecked. Look,
It was fun.
been the discussion? What's been the discussion all week, guys? What's the issue with Daytona?
Fuel. Yeah,
Which
what do
is
you
really
do about it? It's really the discussion. How do you fix it? Man, we've talked about a million different ideas on how to fix it. We've had the podcast this week come up with ideas on how to fix it. A lot of people say Diddy had some good ideas. I don't know what to do. I mean, but I ask you this: when I compare it to iRacing, when the 3 Toyotas got out front and were blocking the 3 lanes and they're running 50-60% throttle, how come we don't do that in iRacing? How come we can't do that in iRacing? Like, you can't do that in iRacing, you get run over. So how come they're not getting run over out there?
Because they've all agreed to do it. That's the thing. Yeah, we could do that. You could get out there and run 50% throttle if everybody else is going to do the same thing, but we're not going to. None of it. I mean, yeah, we're
So,
just not. I mean,
because the engineers are saying you need to do this. They're telling the drivers to run that speed because they're basically saying if you run full speed, you're going to lose the race.
Well, when you're fifth or sixth or seventh in line, you can just about do it there anyway, even if the other people are full throttle. And it's even more pronounced with the real car than it is in iRacing. But the problem with this car is it's so draggy that anybody who decides they're going to pull out and try to leave them, they can't, because the fourth place car can just run 50% throttle and keep up with the guys running 100% throttle. So you can't turn around and leave the pack if you decide we're going to just go. All right. So there's no incentive. There is no win-win right now as the package stands to go. I liked Dell's suggestion of bring back the lead most laps and lead a lap bonus points. That would be a small fix. It wouldn't change everything, but I think that would add some interest. But ultimately, this comes down to the fact that you can change the tires faster than you can fill the car up because of the one lug nut. So either somehow make it where I think the biggest way to fix this, and you also have to make sure the tires wear, is somehow come up with a way to make it where fuel takes less time than tires. Whether that's a different fuel system.
Lug wrench. Just have one, David, one per team. One lug wrench per team. Problem solved.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That could do it. That would be hilarious. That could do it. or you switch to a faster fuel system, or you actually do go ahead and go with a smaller fuel cell in this particular case, to the point where they're
but we
going to
tried.
have to pay it anyway.
Yeah, I mean, we tried that years
Yep.
ago. They reduced the
But
fuel size.
back then they still had the 5 lug nuts. It was to fix a different issue. This would fix the issue of the fuel being shorter than or longer than the tires.
Brad was right, though. Brad ended up saying it was the car, it's the car, it's the car. That's the answer.
Yeah, I'm saying the same thing. It is the car, and it particularly comes down to the fact that it only takes 1 lug nut. It's the 2 things. It's the 1 lug nut and the fact that it's so draggy that you cannot go ahead and go full throttle and pull away. And
you just need to rip all the garbage off the bottom of the car. Get rid of the spoiler on the bottom, on all the fins on the back of the bottom of the car, the big snow scoop on the front of the car. Get rid of all that, and then see what happens.
It's not going away. It's not. All right, so we'll roll into Atlanta Motor Speedway, aka Echo Park, this weekend for another round of drafting racing. So who do we have, guys?
Look, I was really keen on Carson Hocevar. I actually picked him to win Daytona 500. He's just ripe. He's just ripe for a breakthrough win, I think, and so I'm going to stick with him.
He was very quick here last year, so until he ended up having some issues.
Do you think with the colder weather we're gonna have the tire wear this isn't there a new left side tire that they're gonna race that's softer, I think, or something too, that they're gonna race Atlanta this week?
They've got a new, it's either right or left. I don't remember which. I mean, they have a specific compound for this track, but I think it's supposed to be more similar to a traditional 1.5 mile or an intermediate tire.
But I think they said it was the inside, the inner carcass resembles what they run on short tracks. That was holding heat. I think is what if I read it correctly.
Yeah, I mean, look, here's the thing. Atlanta's wearing. It's getting better every year. We were talking about this last night during the race. iRacing, at some point we need a rescan. Maybe wait another year or so, but the track has changed tremendously. And we don't have that. You're gonna see racing this weekend where handling really, really matters. It matters some in the sim right now, but not like it will in real life. The guys are going to be much more off the throttle than we are. So, give it another year, then I definitely think we need a rescan.
Does the rescan
Agree.
But does the rescan of Atlanta, is the actual the form of the racetrack changing, or is it just the texture of the track is different? Could they not create like an aging model?
Settling.
Could they not make an aging model though in iRacing where it ages the surface so it's more abrasive?
Aging model. That's a great idea. So they don't have to rescan it. Like every year they push a button and they age it a year. The grip goes down a little bit.
Right, but is that beside the button for your certificate?
Well,
right.
I'm thinking the problem is if they keep hitting that aging button, I think it's going to go towards the driver more than it's going to go towards the track, because that's how I feel when I'm driving sometimes.
Imagine how you feel if you're an aging model. All right, what is not an aging model is the Porsche 992.2. And what we have is a model of the cockpit in the form of basically a button box of sorts, right?
It's like a wraparound dash around your base. A full-on wraparound dash, both sides. It's got button boxes integrated, dash integrated. Looks like hose holes for air. Yeah, air. Air tubes, I should say. This is pretty cool. I kind of checked their website. They're from Italy. They have a few different of these dashes, but if you're into the whole trying to replicate a car dash and you don't want to do it yourself, this is a great option.
I have two questions, Brad. What might come out of those? What might they be simulating out of those tube holes?
I can't see. I closed the window.
My question is how does this attach to a rig? Like,
It,
is, is it
it's attaching on the uprights somehow. I mean, it's your uprights, your crossbar. Yeah,
so
look,
it's basically replacing your upright?
no, it's going to be sitting on those. I don't think there's any structure to this outside of what's holding the dashboard.
So
And
is
then I
that
guess your two.
from what's in that picture there? Is that just for show? Because it looks like it has bolt holes for like a side part there.
It probably does, but I mean, like, we don't have anything else with that. But I mean, looking at the other ones that they've done, they have 3 available, and not cheap. So
If you watch the video, it's mounted
1,100
sorry.
euros.
yeah, it's expensive.
Yeah, it's mounted to 80/20. The uprights are 80/20, so it will just go on, I guess, any 80/20 upright.
I mean, it's neat. It's just it locks you into. If that's all you're gonna run, I think that's pretty cool. But it's it just kind of locks you into that car. But if that's, I mean, look, if you do this on the weekend, you drive in the Porsche Carrera Cup or something, cool. That's perfect. I just don't want to be locked in that tight with a car.
So what you're saying is if this company made a whole bunch of options, you could just switch your dash over to whatever event you're running for that specific car. That'd be cool.
Well, I don't know about that, but looking at their website, it shows they have the 992 version, but they also have some GT3 versions that are a bit more generic. They're not specific to the Porsche, but they're nice carbon fiber dash and whatnot. Kind of neat. Look, I think I decided early on I didn't want anything like this. I think Steve Llewellyn and I were talking about what he was going to do next, and he's like, "Man, you remember those Derek Spears button boxes that go out each side of the wheelbase where they have buttons on both sides and it kind of makes a dash?" That's what he's wanting to get, something like that. This is like next level of that, but yeah.
Could it be? Guess it could. Something's coming. Something good. What is it, John?
I don't know, but SimLab, they've got a little teaser on Instagram with a picture that I can't even make out what it is. But I guess they've got something on the horizon here that's coming out pretty quick.
Yeah, Porsche GTP is what the lights are from. So I'm guessing another wheel, maybe. I don't know. I mean, they just released the RS whatever, which I thought was the wheel for the GTP, or maybe not. Maybe that's the one for the. I don't know. I don't know what else you could do from Porsche.
So in the comments, Central Sim Racing says LMP wheel from Porsche.
But
They don't have an LMP.
all their Porsche wheels almost are identical, like all the time. It's just different layouts of buttons.
Daniel Wilson says is a 963 wheel.
Oh, I guess it could be. They call it LMP. What do they call it?
LMDH.
What is it called? LMD. So it would be an LMDH, not an LMP over there, and over here it's the GTP. The GTP or the LMP class now is a spec car. It doesn't have a manufacturer. It's just a Delara chassis.
Look, when SimLab does a wheel, they're really good wheels, guys.
Oh, they are. They are. I mean, I think was it you and I that stood over there and talked to Richard for quite a while, or was that Justin? I don't remember who it was, but going through the Mercedes F1
I was
wheel, and
there.
that's right. It was you, Greg, and I mean, just amazing how much details in that thing.
Well, they've got great equipment. I've got a little bit of a beef, though. These guys are putting out new equipment, but they can't even get their P1X Ultimate rig in stock. I mean, it's been out out of stock forever. I've been trying to get one. Big delay with their wheelbase. I wish those guys would focus on just getting their inventory up for now.
Yeah, I don't know where the wheelbase is, so that's kind of a strange thing. Because when we talked to Richard at the Sim Gaming Expo, he was hoping for possible release, in Q4, the latest Q1. So, and I have not heard anything at all.
So there's a listener who's waiting to buy one of those. He's going to buy one as soon as they're released. So he was asking me, when is it going to be released? And so I don't know.
So they're creating more SKUs faster than they're creating products.
Bingo.
Well, I mean,
Two different teams. Okay,
Yeah.
let's look at it that way.
let's use the iRacing philosophy.
You got R&D team, you got production team, right?
And then somewhere in a deep closet is the race control team.
It's very deep. It's a very small closet. Very small closet.
It's the closet that the guy from the office keeps getting sent into. We need you to move again. What's that character's name? With the glasses? You know who I'm talking about?
Yeah, but I don't know his name.
All right. Speaking of moving, we have a DIY motion site in .au. Is that Australia or Austria?
Yeah, this is specific to Australia, but for our Australian listeners, we want to give this place a shout out. The HN Motion. They have a 3DOF, which is an attractive price of $3,000. Pretty good rate.
All right. It's 4,000. I doubt this is US, and you're going to pay a fortune to have it shipped over here too. So
No, I
being
wouldn't
clear
suggest
on it.
somebody from the U.S. buy this. Somebody in Australia should buy this, right?
Well, they can't right now because they're sold out.
Ooh, yeah, that's true. The $4,000 one is not sold out.
Guess it was a high demand.
New company I haven't heard of.
All right, we got a classic clickbait headline: "The will to end them all." So, do you agree, Brad?
Yes, we've got a video here. This is from what's his name? This is No Pro Dave. We've talked about this wheel before a little bit. This is the Bavarian Simtech Delta Pro steering wheel. He's apparently owned 14 high-end sim racing wheels, and he considers this one to be the best one he's ever had. So, some of the highlights, talks about the ergonomics of it, about the features of the grip design. I think this is the best in the industry. The hardware, the build quality. Look, I don't discount Bavarian Simtech does very good building. I think the quality is very good. Talks about the technology and the software. BeamTech. It's the wheel features an LED ring around the encoders. So not only do you get feedback from your LED strip and whatnot in the dash, you've actually got around the encoders is the LED lights. Talks about the software integration, which they call pit stop, to do everything. Look, it's just a ugly wheel. It's like, let's take a nice looking wheel and let's slap a screen on it that's completely out of place, and yeah, it's just not attractive.
Good old.
So the screenless version looks pretty good. The one without the screen looks pretty good.
Yes, looks really good. This is just like, can we get some double-sided tape and let's stick the dash right there.
You know what it reminds me of? Like, I don't know if some of the new cars nowadays, when they try and stick a tablet inside the dash and it doesn't look like it's supposed to fit.
So, as we'll talk about later, as I go to a nice DDU display above the steering wheel base, that pretty much cements the whole idea of ever buying a wheel with a display on it. Like, I will never buy a wheel that has a display. I probably won't.
Yeah, I don't think I will either. It wouldn't really do me much good being in a VR. But I do like the layout of the buttons. I think it's all really well placed.
It is, and that's what I'm saying. And they have a version of this without the screen, and I love it. I think it's one of the best looking wheels. It's just this one is just it's just odd. It's almost like I said. It's almost like the dash was an afterthought.
So
But you have
the guy
a separate
really,
DDU too, don't you, Brad?
Say it again.
You have a separate DDU as well, don't you?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. So you could go with the one if you were going to get one, you could go without the display.
Yeah, I wouldn't get. I'm like Mike. I wouldn't get one with a display. That there's no reason to. I have no reason to get one without a display or with a display.
the guy was very adamant about the grip material and how, hey, I've tried every premium wheel in the business, blah 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 blah. I've put my hands on everything. This particular grip is better than the rest, and yeah, you got to believe him. But the grips must be outstanding on this. The thing I like about Bavarian SimTech is when you look at it and you're holding it in your hand and they're twisting it around and stuff, it looks really thin, but it looks really sturdy and it looks really high end. And so, yeah, if I was shopping, I would definitely be looking at those.
So we've been covering a lot of motorsport themed PC builds lately, even though last week's wasn't exactly motorsports. It was more right out of Jaws. This one, when you first look, you think, oh, cool, it's a PC inside a wheel. But if you watch the video, it's pretty epic. Tell us a little bit about it, John.
Yeah, these guys, they took a BMW tire rim, and the BMW insignia in the middle of the rim, you push it. That's your on and off button for the computer, and then it gives a big engine sound when it kicks on. It. Look, this is something none of us would ever buy, but it's just cool to see other people doing it. When they turn it on, the rim starts to spin, which is a pretty cool look. These are guys that have a lot of knowledge, expertise, and free time on their hands. It's kind of neat. I wouldn't have one though.
I surely hope that's not the sound it makes because it sounds like you just started a Model T Ford.
I was about to say that sounds very ancient. That's like BM, just BM, like it was, but before it was even BMW. It's so old they don't even have all three initials yet.
I love the idea behind the motorsports themed case though, because if you're going for a nice look, like in my dining room with my big rig and everything, I just got a standard looking PC over in the corner, and it has a lot of lights and it's bright and everything. It looks good, but if I had one of these sitting there instead, it'd look even better. And so I don't know if I haven't seen this like case for sale anywhere, so I'm sure it's some kind of custom job.
I mean, since it's in the dining room, Mike, you probably do need to do an upgrade and get it to look a little bit nicer.
So does this need to look like a plate and some cutlery?
Oh, motorsports themed, like I said.
All right, Mike, next we have another wheel review.
Yeah, we do. This is a YouTube video review from CLD Ardurance, a new YouTube channel I found. And he talks about the Conspit 290 GP, which is a steering wheel which retails for $710. And so he goes over the build quality, 290 millimeter, 12 RGB buttons, 2 7-way joysticks, 3 12-way rotaries, and 4 encoder wheels, shifters and paddles, display, and so forth. As far as the conclusion, reviewer emphasizes that while a new wheel won't make you faster, the Conspit 290 GP is an excellent, high-quality upgrade for those looking for a reliable, feature-rich device.
Yeah, I mean, Conspit came out with 3 wheels kind of all around the same time. The 290, the 300 Max, and then there's the 310. It's the one with the little itty bitty screen. Yeah, I mean, they look. Yeah, if you remember the video we did by Daniel Morad, I mean, one of their wheels, he picked over the rest of the stuff between value and build quality and all that. They've done a good job. I mean, I've said before, we talked about them for a couple of years that it was just, you never see, you kept hearing things, seeing things, but you couldn't do anything, go buy it or anything. But these are good looking wheels. This is just a little too small for me. 290 is just a little bit too small.
Brad, anybody that actually has what's a program is using that display there?
SimHub.
That's SimHub. Okay.
Look, when you look at the $710 one that he's reviewing versus the what is it, $300 one that they also offer, there's not much difference.
Yeah, I mean, the other one has the small dash that's driven by Conspit, their software. This one, along with the Max 300, 301, or whatever it is, those are all SimHub compatible. So that's your biggest difference there. And the build quality is a little bit better. I mean, this has got,
Triple
I think,
paddle.
yeah, I mean, you've got more stuff. It's more bang in there, but yeah, I'm looking forward to actually being able to put my hands on some of their wheels when I go to the Sim Racing Expo because I have not been able to touch any of their stuff. They weren't at the Sim Gaming Expo, so I am looking forward to being able to see some of their hardware.
All right, Mike, I think the next two can kind of sort of be grouped together, and I'm guessing this is where people were trying to spend your money.
Yeah, I got a hair up my butt and I'm looking at my rig and what's next? What's next? What am I buying next? And I've decided I need a new DDU. The display that I have above my SimiCube wheelbase is an Android phone, an A51 Samsung Galaxy, and if it when you look at the rig as a whole, this is the one thing that's out of place. And so I thought, okay, I need one, but I want a nice one. I don't want 3D printed. I don't want plastic. I want something machined metal, something that looks really good. And of course, I go to our Discord channel. Um, who is it? Chad McNeese, I believe, who puts up the big list of equipment. So he gave me his list of DDUs, and I went through that list and looked at every one of them. And I didn't look at price. I just looked at how does it look. And I had all the tabs open, and I closed the ones I didn't like, and I ended up with the Asher 8-inch dashboard from Asher Racing. And it's nice. I mean, full metal. It's got RPM gauges, RPM lights across the top and sides. USB-C, not HDMI. A nice power button on the back. Really nice carbon fiber mounting bracket. And I'm like, sold. I'm gonna buy it. So I buy it. So first I look for it in the United States, and I can't find it in the United States. So I end up buying it directly from their website. There's no mention of taxes or shipping or tariffs or anything. So a few hours later, after I buy it, it was like 500 and something dollars. I get a email from them. Hey, the tariff is going to be 55% more. So are you okay with that, or do you want to cancel the order? So with a 55% more on the 500 I already spent, it's too much, and so I had them cancel the order. So that led me to second choice, number two, which ended up being SimSport Gadget. SimSport Gadget out of New Jersey, I think they are.
Yes.
New Jersey, right. So he has his new SimSport Gadget branded DV8, an 8-inch display, touchscreen as well. It's very similar to what I described before. It is made out of metal. It's got RPM gauges or lights along top and sides. It also includes Daniel Newman Racing Dashboard Pro for free with already built dashboards to select from.
Yep, I use Daniel Newman
400
Racing.
bucks.
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice. Yeah, I was the same way, Mike. When I got mine, I didn't want anything 3D printed. I wanted, aluminum, something. I wanted something metal. That's why I went the direction I did. I did not want anything that was 3D printed.
Yeah, and
So is the
so the
third one
more I
that's
look
listed?
at it,
Go ahead.
the more I like it.
So is the third one on the script a little bit too 3D printed or too boxy looking?
So this is the one that Chris Randall recommended.
Yeah, I looked at these and I looked at some other ones that are similar to this, much cheaper. But I wanted to have LEDs built in, external LEDs. I did not want to do an LED on the screen. So that was what steered me away from doing these. And I wanted something that looked like what it would be in a car. I mean, mine looks just like what you have in the race car. That's why I wanted it. When I step up and sit down at the rig, there's a DDU staring at me that looks just like the dash in a race car. That's what I wanted.
Yeah, so this one that Chris Randall put up, he said he had bought this and was happy with it. It's the KGL ultra wide 7.8-inch dashboard, and it looks just like a regular display in some kind of plastic wraparound enclosure with screws on it. It's not too pretty. So yeah, the look of this, I would be a hard no right off the bat, but it's a good price, only 147 euro. It looked like.
And then
John,
he's off.
could you go ahead? John, could you give us a roundabout figure of the next one?
Well, are you talking about the Simagic active pedal there?
No, there was a round digital dash.
Ah, yes, there is. I'm sorry, skip that, guys. Yeah, KGL's got a round digital gauge, or round gauge display. I mean, it looks to me like, what is that? Just a tachometer, just a very simple.
Tachometer, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you want something, it's just a tachometer. But I would think at 138 bucks, that's a little expensive for one
It's
little
a
item like that.
digital screen, though, John. It looks like an analog tachometer, but it does say it's a touch screen.
Okay, I missed that. You're right. I thought it was analog. Okay, well, so I suppose you could maybe switch it to some kind of different display, but it's one dimensional.
It's neat. It's I don't know. I mean, it's neat. It's not a necessary thing, but it's neat. I just don't know if I'd have any application for it, to be honest with you.
So I can't watch the next one, Mike. But is this an attempt at a direct or an active pedal by Simagic?
So no, this is Karith. Scaring up the video we saw 2+ years ago from Simagic when they showed off their potential active pedal, where the bottom it's a stacked pedal instead of being really long like the current ones. The mechanism is stacked on top of the base, and so it's a more of a compact pedal. Now when this first came out, I was keen on waiting for this, and I'm glad I didn't wait because it never came out. What's interesting is when you look in the comments of this Kareth video on TikTok, somebody was saying the guy who was running Simagic right after this pedal was announced left Simagic. He went over to Conspit briefly, but then retired. And I didn't hear that he had retired, but apparently retired from the business completely. And then after that, the Simagic product, R&D and all that kind of went out the door, with the guy leaving that company, and they never did release this pedal. And so Kareth, in this video, he basically says, I'm going to track down what the heck happened to this pedal. So more coming from him. Kudos to him for going searching and asking the hard questions, finding people at Simagic Hey, what happened to your active pedal?
Yeah, it's kind of disappointing. So, yeah, this was probably Sim Racing Expo 2024 was when this debuted, and yeah, it was. They talked about it coming in 2025, and have heard nothing about it at all. And I can't think of the guy's name, Mike, but yes, he did leave with the Conspit, and you saw about the time he got to Conspit was when
It
Conspit,
was Wang.
yes, just blew up with everything they're doing. You know, got super aggressive with new releases and all that stuff, and then yes, he's left there as well. So yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's kind of. I mean, there's they, along with this was the whole Zeus line of wheels and all that, and that stuff has kind of gotten stagnant as well. So I'm not sure what's going on with Sim Magic.
Right. Like, what have we heard from Sim Magic recently? Like, nothing.
No, no, since they released the new Evo bases last year, yeah, nothing at all.
Are you saying the magic's gone?
Ooh, title idea. The magic is gone.
I don't think it's going to beat the other one.
It's not.
All right, we have a Sebelt light racing rig, and that's what it is. It's basically lighter. They boast that it is going to have the same rigidity, but I question that because less metal usually means less rigidity, more flex. We'll see. Less weight, easier integration, same structural rigidity and stability you expect from Sebelt sim racing projects.
So is this kind of akin, like if you're buying from Advanced Sim Racing, you buy the ASR2 instead of the ASR6?
I don't. I'm just okay. They've got the slanted uprights, which I don't like, but I mean it's. I don't even think this is 120 millimeter profile. It looks more almost like 80. I mean that just doesn't look like it's going to be that. I can't imagine there's no flex in that. I just can't imagine that there's no flex on those uprights.
I don't know if it's not the same standard size, but like our base is on my sim lab, the base is got 3 channels or no, actually room for 4 channels, right?
160 millimeters.
160. So this is the only 2 channels. So it is only 80 millimeter. It's only 2 wide instead of 4 wide. So it's just a lot less metal.
Well,
I
their
love their
website,
seats, though.
yeah, they're saying on their website it's meant to be entry level. If we've said 100 times, buy once, cry once. So don't buy this one.
John is learning that because he's still waiting to buy twice.
Yeah, listeners, guys, take it from me. If you're going to buy one, get the one. Don't get an entry level. Forget that. Skip it.
So why don't you buy the ASR6 and be done with it, John?
I'm about ready, but the last time I looked, it was sold out.
Oh, really?
John's just looking for the next thing that they're going to come up with, and he'll put us down for whatever comes out next, right? So the AR7 he's waiting on.
Well, it'll probably come out by the time these people get anything else in stock.
Because if you bought the, I guess if you would purchase the AR stuff from here, you'd have to pay tariffs on it, whereas the other ones you wouldn't, would it?
Well, so on the Sim Lab there wouldn't be because they've got a U.S. warehouse now.
Yeah,
There's nothing in it, but they've got one.
But the ARS,
Right.
But the stuff from Canada, you will.
No, the Advanced Sim Racing, we would no tariff, no shipping.
I can't remember. They don't have it on their site, do they?
There may be no tariffs on the rigs, but I ended up having to buy my SemiCube wheel side quick releases from them, and I had to pay tariffs.
55%?
No, it wasn't that much, but I did have to pay. But I think the rigs are tariff free, but some of the other stuff from them is not. It wasn't that bad. I mean, but they were the only ones that had it. Nobody else had one in stock, other than me getting it from SemiCube from Europe, and that was ridiculous.
Their website right now is up. It says up to 3 weeks for lead time.
All right, I don't know if we're actually going to spend more Brad's money, but Brad, what are we going to try to spend for you?
So, This is funny. I actually got an email from them on Monday about these two new Simmax wheels, and I told my wife I'm watching the 500, and the one thing I've noticed, after having an MPI wheel, is all of the Simmax MPI wheels. They're the Alcantara leather. They're not, you don't have like the rubber and on the oval stuff. And I'm watching all the Daytona, and every time you see the camera shots, you see the guys with the, I think they call it it's I can't think of the name of whatever they call the hex or whatever the rubber is. And I'm like, man, it would be nice to have a sim wheel with that on there. And then Monday I get an email, and I'm like, are you kidding me? This is not good. I just have the Dale Jr. wheel come in, and now this shows up. I've already told the wife, get ready, because I'm probably going to end up getting a third one just because I want it. It's nice. So these are 14 and 15-inch rims, built same quality, same specs as you got on well, to mimic the real life wheels. But again, no Alcantara leather. These are going to be your rubber. I can't think of what they call it, but looks super nice. These will come with the centerpiece. So like when I got mine, I had to buy the center the cushion separately. These will include it, but they do look very good. So, and under $300, it's not terrible.
Yeah, look, I paid 415 for mine, but it was like a special edition thing. But yeah, I mean, this, yeah, if you're buying into a sim, I would be looking at this MPI MP15 they call it. Yeah, pretty neat.
All right, I think we can get through the rest of these pretty quickly. Maybe the motion might take a little bit of time, but let's talk about this next wheel, John.
Yeah, so we've got it looks like it's a Moza wheel, I guess, isn't it? But basically, what it has detachable parts to the wheel, so you can make it a round wheel, D-shaped wheel. Basically, it changes the type of wheel you have with these attachments to it. It shows in the video uh, they're being popped on and off. And I don't know. I don't think Moza makes these. I think this may be some kind of 3D printed thing. Is that what it looks like?
This is actually Acelith. So I think this is a wheelbase and the wheel, but yeah, it's so think about Acetec where you got the you could interchange the different parts of the wheel itself all around the same hub. So kind of neat. I mean, if you watch the Instagram post, they're going from a formula style to an oval style to a D-shaped style to um
U
a what?
a U shape.
Yes. So yeah, I mean, pretty quick interchanged. Kind of neat. It's but it's somewhat I think still of an entry level when it comes to the wheelbase and stuff. And this is probably looking at it looks to be probably Xbox or PlayStation compatible as well.
I'm not sure what the point is if you're not changing the position of the grips or anything, but except I mean, I suppose if you have it in oval configuration, you could reach around to the different spots. But for the for the most part, our oval rims are just larger than our formula rims. So it just seems like almost just an aesthetic thing. I don't see how it would change the function of the wheel at all.
Not for me.
Is this button box for you though, Mike?
No, but it is a good value, I think. PXN has their CB1 control box. We've talked about this before, but I saw it again and thought we should talk about it. But look, it's got all the little stuff. It's got the starter switch and the power on and off and all that. Push buttons, toggles, joystick, knobs. So if you're looking for a cheap starter box, this would be good. Kind of plasticky though.
All right, Mike, let's talk you out of spending money. Go.
Well, Dave Cam has gotten the Vero Motion 3DOF Champion GT motion rig sent to him for his review. And me and Dave Cam are on the same wavelength. And so when he likes something, I usually like it too. And boy, he spoke highly of motion. In fact, at the end, he was like, "Yeah, if I have to send this back, yeah, I just might buy it," kind of thing. Would he, you know? And he also said, after he got it dialed in, and he tried to race without it, he can. There's like, I don't want to race without it, And so I think the key for him was getting it dialed in. Yes, it comes with a motion profile to get you started, but what he did is he got a guy from the company to actually remote into his computer and adjust the sim hub settings for the motion on the fly while Dave was driving the car. And him just being able to tell the guy over the headset, hey, that's too much, turn it down a little, this or that, and get it to his liking. He's loving it. And so, man, that makes me think. But man, the price, I just can't justify motion. I just can't.
No, we've had this discussion multiple times. I just, yeah, same scenario. 5, 6, $7,000. I can't do it. I can't.
Well, pretty soon it'll be cheaper than a stick of RAM.
Right.
Which leads us into the next topic, but I guess you're not done. Go ahead.
I'm not done. One more thing I just want to say is it makes me think twice about motion. I had walked away from the Sim Gaming Expo saying, "Yeah, probably not going to do it." But then when I hear Dave, talk so highly about it, I hear what Chris Randall. I don't know why I call him Kyle, but Chris Randall, what he has said about his motion rig with Cubic, and man, it just makes me pause for a minute. Like, okay, can I take some money out of the IRA? Can I use up some of my emergency fund?
Not an
Or do I need to
Mike.
or do I need to save that money for my next computer build? Like you said, with RAM and stuff, I don't know.
I'm happy with my haptics. I rebuilt them, put a little bit stronger ones in. Super happy with them. And I will agree, I can't race without them. It feels very weird if the rig is not vibrating. So I get it, but I just can't. Yeah, I can do a lot more with $6,000 or $7,000 as opposed to put, turn the rig into where it's a jumpy car. So we've talked quite extensively over, I guess, the last month or two about some of the issues with RAM and all of the AI and the data centers and all that stuff. Well, it's not just RAM now. I've got a Instagram post here from uncover.ai from Western Digital. It says Western Digital has no HDD capacity left. As its CEO reveals, massive AI-driven deals have consumed available supply. So this isn't just that they've taken, they consumed what's already out there. They've actually bought
Future production.
Future production, yeah. So most of the MIDI supply agreements are already locked through 27 and 28, meaning that hard drives availability is going to stay tight as AI expansion continues. So yeah, this is not good. This is not good at all.
So I think I found somebody on Twitter who really put this in the right perspective. I'm going to read this Twitter from Jatin K. Kramlik. He says, quote, "The reason why RAM has become 4 times more expensive is that a huge amount of RAM that has not been produced was purchased with non-existent money to be installed in GPUs that also have not yet been produced in order to place them in data centers that have not yet been built, powered by infrastructure that may never appear, to satisfy demand that does not actually exist, and to obtain profit that is mathematically impossible."
So at some point, a bubble's going to pop.
Well, look, I mean, you got NVIDIA, you got Western Digital, you got all the RAM, all this stuff happening at the same time where everything is, all future production over the next 12 to 18 months has been purchased, basically. But But to that point, I mean, we don't have the electricity yet for the data centers that haven't even been built, for the GPUs that haven't been built yet, for the RAM that they've already bought but hasn't been built yet. It's just an insane thing when you try to wrap your head around it.
Oh, it's even worse when you start looking at local levels as far as water authorities and everything else, because these centers take ridiculous amounts of water to cool everything, and that's causing all kinds of chaos. You know, I use a tremendous amount of water at my business, and I mean, we're concerned now because there's supposed to be a data center coming into the area, which is going to consume a ridiculous amount of water. So it's maddening. It's absolutely maddening. And like you said, Mike, it's all this is being perpetuated on stuff that's not even built or done yet.
Right. Okay,
All right, let's talk.
results. NIS, let's talk the Daytona 500. Friday Open, Tony Rochette, P16. NIS is back and I'm back. I took a few months off from iRacing and I see nothing change except this ran 75 green flag laps from the start, which surprised the heck out of me. Screwed up my green flag stops by not realizing where the pit entry cone was along the wall and was caught 65 mph at the line. Nothing like spending 50 seconds in the pits while green. The rash of cautions after the 75 laps got me back on the lead lap, and my dumbass did it again with 30 to go. I did finish with a clean car, 1 lap down. Gone.
So I ran it twice last week. Wednesday night, got a P12. I did the same thing Tony did, really. Got a speeding penalty going into the pits. There was a wad of cars going in, and I was focused on those cars, avoiding them, and ended up going into the pits, I think 77 miles an hour. Got my lap back, but it was way too late to do any good. Ran the race again on Friday night, and wow, my first ever Daytona 500 win.
Yes.
My first ever NIS win.
Yes.
Never felt this kind of emotion winning a race or playing any kind of video game. Guys, I've been doing video games racing since Atari in television. I've been doing this since I played Pong when I was a kid. Nothing ever felt like this. I mean, I screamed so loud. My wife came running downstairs. She thought I was having a heart attack. I think I was having a heart attack. I'm pretty sure after that. But I got to tell you, I could give you details of the race, but I'm going to tell you something more important. I want to give credit to a couple of my teammates here, Chris Waldron and Justin Pearson. They were spotting me in this last few laps of the race. They told me exactly what to do. I did what they told me, and that's why I won. If those guys hadn't done it, I'd have been in second place. So it just tells you the importance of having good teammates like all of you guys. But this race came down to a green-white checker. I started in P3. I pushed the first place car all the way around the track. Coming out of turn 4, high side was clear. I stayed on the lead car's bumper, timed it just perfect so I could pull out high and make the pass just like Chris and Justin told me to, and it worked. I won this race by 2/100ths of a second. So if I'd have waited 2/100ths of a second longer, I would not have won this thing. Also want to mention, we had some listeners in this race. Had one guy kept telling me, he says, I want John Curley to win so he can talk about it on the podcast. So, buddy, you get to listen to me talk about this one. Great feeling. Don't know what else to say.
It's not, well, you didn't win a game. You won a motorsports race, and that's why it feels that way. I mean, this is competitive, and this is a special event, and this is a 3.5 hour race. And to win it is something else. John, I am so proud of you and what you've accomplished from where you started with this team to where you've come. You are a competitive driver. Absolutely. Well done. Moving on to Sunday Open. Tony Rochette, P22, didn't speed this time, but was taken out with 60 to go while leading a group to the main pack by a bad push. Moving on to Sunday Fixed NIS Daytona 500. I did it. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. I was leading on the outside on the white. The guy in the bottom went to the apron. He still crossed the line ahead of me, but he got a black flag. So I was actually deemed the winner. It's my second Daytona 500. I haven't won since 2020. So I'm a two-timer now. But man, it was the agony of defeat and the thrill of victory all within 60 seconds because I lost the race. I was P2. I was devastated. I was, damn it. I was pissed. I was anger. And then I hear somebody in the chat say, "Oh, I just got a podium. He got DQ'd." I look up at the scoring, and sure enough, my name moved up one notch from second to first on the Joel real timing. And I like, where's the results? And I pull up the results, and boom, there I am. And I was like, holy cow, I've won the Daytona 500. And much like John, hooping and hollering and yelling and carrying on like a fool, but it was great. Man, it's so good to get my look. I've accomplished my goal for the year. I just wanted to win one NIS race this year, and I've done it. So, real happy with that. This pleased as punch this week. Let's move on to Echo Park Speedway, or as I call it, Atlanta Dega. David wrecked out.
Yeah, I was running in the front pack, and we started lapping some cars, and at the same time, a couple of guys decided to do some three-wide racing, and calamity happens, and I get pushed down into the inside wall. Too much damage, we're done.
Damn. Brad, P18.
Yeah, started P9. Managed to stay up towards the front for most of the race. Ended up just made the wrong call for as far as a pit stop goes. Myself and the other leaders, just a bad pit cycle to where it forced us for an extra stop. So should have pitted earlier under caution, but didn't. So it really expected us to end up with another yellow, but we didn't get one. So we actually had green flag stops. We ended up losing a lap, and then there's four of us that were running together, and we come up and we're passing a slower car, and the guy just kind of got right up into the middle of us, and then when I tried to clear him, I wasn't clear, and ended up clipping him. Got into the wall pretty good. Had about 8 minutes of damage or something. But from that point on, I kind of got caught up in almost every single wreck. That shifted me to the back, and just an absolute mess. So I've said it before. It's just this type of racing doesn't excite me. I just don't feel like I'm ever in control, and I'll be glad once we get through this weekend and can actually get to a racetrack where I feel like I can somewhat control my race.
I was super frustrated with the racing today when during the middle part of the race, single file, and nobody wants to even try to go to a second lane or nothing. Everyone just wants to ride in a single file and just click off laps. I mean, it's not even fun. I mean, it's lame, like you said.
Is that less fun than getting wrecked out every race because people are driving three wide while passing lapped cars?
I don't know. It wasn't fun, but my race I ran Thursday open. I got wrecked out. I actually ran top 5. I was just riding. I took the lead with 45 to go. Ended up pitting for tires with like 35 to go. And then I was the first car on the outside coming back from a restart into the top 10. And I got net coded really bad, maybe 15 inches away from the guy on the bottom. I was kind of side drafting, but there was still space. And like I said, a good 15 inches between me and the guy below me. He kind of moved up a little, and then the net code got me and put me in the wall hard. Too much damage. We're done. Steve Llewellyn also ran with me, and he also got wrecked out.
So I have the other guys' entries from Wednesday. They didn't put anything in the document, but I have their places. Do we want to call those?
Yeah, go.
All right. So Donnie brought it home 19th. Chris brought it home 21st. Steven also ran Wednesday and was 29th. My position was actually 35th. Bobby and Justin both took wins, so it would have
Bobby
been cool
won.
to.
Yeah, we forgot
Yeah,
about
Bobby won
Bobby.
and
Bobby
Justin won.
Jonas. Congratulations, Bobby. He is a restrictor plate king, and glad he was able to get it. Let's
And
talk
Justin.
A Open. A Open, Brad, P12.
Yep. So started at P8, and again, kind of like NIS, just decided I was going to try to stay up front. Felt like that was probably the safest spot. We made it about halfway. Ended up getting collected in an accident. We're coming through the tri-oval, and I think like the lap ahead of that, the guy that was 2 cars ahead of me asked the guy who was behind him, "Hey, I'm the car's super free. I'm good if you get on. If you want to push me on the backstretch, or once we're out of the tri-oval, I'm okay with that. Just please don't push me in the tri-oval." Well, what do you think he does the next lap? Oh heck, I'm just going to push him. Well, it ensues. Probably half the field got wrecked. Just again, it's just frustrating. Ended up another 10 minutes of damage or something, and just kind of put it around to finish where I finished, and it's just aggravating. There's no safe place. I don't think at any of these, especially Atlanta. There's no safe place.
Yep, and then John, P17 at Daytona.
Yeah, it's a Daytona race. I had a good run going. I was on the inside, P12, I don't know, 10, 12 laps to go. Guy ahead of me decided to go up into the outside lane, middle lane. So I took his spot. He goes up. I take the spot he had, but he decided that he didn't like it up there. Tried to go back down. I guess he didn't like what his spotter told him and just decided he would try to push me out of the way, come back down, and took me out, took himself out, and 10 other cars. That was the end of that.
Man, I ran A fixed at Atlanta as a practice race, P16. Got the lead with 20 to go pretty easily. Never pitted for tires. Had coming to 2 or 3 to go. A caution comes out. We go to green white checker, and I get snookered on the white, and they go below and above me, and then I get dumped and finish P16. I did run it a second time and also got wrecked right early from some guy trying to go up the middle. Some high I rating guy trying to go up the middle. Moving on to grassroots racing, Brad, P11.
Yeah, we were at Road America, so just doing this little short season in between the last season and trying to get back on the schedule with the regular iRacing 12-week schedule. So yeah, P11 didn't qualify very well. Managed to gain some spots early on, but would end up losing the car in turn one after getting passed by GTP. So he got by me, and I left plenty of room for him to get by me, and I tried to get back, pull in behind him just to get a little bit better apex. And I don't know if either I just had too much speed or if he slowed a little bit, but I just barely tapped him, and that was enough to spin me sideways. And the problem was the amount of carnage that proceeded after that was absolutely embarrassing. I bet you there was probably 12 cars that just piled into it. We get done with the races, we sit back and they'll go over, watch all the incidents, and it was amazing the guys that were, yellow flags going, and they were still just upshifting through the gears, driving straight into the accident. So that would cost me a bunch of spots. I would gain a few back as the race wound down, but yeah, just a little frustrating. I really didn't. I just didn't feel like I had a whole lot of pace all night.
Okay, let's jump to final thoughts. Greg Hectus.
It's good to be back. Now that I get my nice man cave here, I don't know how much you guys can see in the background here, but I finally got it the way I want it, the way I envisioned it. I got my rig all back together, and the nice thing is I've set it up this time. It's been on wheels for a while, but I always had the PC sitting on the floor beside it, but now I've built a shelf on top of the one spot on the rig. It sits on it, and everything's wired into that area. So the only two things that hang off the rig are the two plugs and the internet cable. That's the only thing that undo, and then the thing all wheels together. So I'm actually pretty excited about that for cleaning and just some maintenance things, or if I want to add stuff, it'll be a lot easier. But yeah, so I'm just excited to race a bit more this season and try and do different disciplines. I don't want to just race Cup right now. I want to do a bunch of other stuff this year.
Look, nice upgrade. Having the wheels on the cockpit to be able to pull that out and work on it, or pull it out and vacuum the floor, or whatever needs to be done, is really, really, really nice. Yeah, well done. Brad Wren, final thought.
Just want to kind of give a shout out to Premier Racing Setups. So, just listeners, if you're wanting to run oval, whether it's the A car, the B car, the C car, I would strongly suggest you look at them. We're 2 weeks into the season. On the open side, come out of Daytona. On the team, we've got 1 win, 5 top 5s. We've got just a couple open races in this week at Atlanta, and we've already got 2 wins on the team. So setups are super fast. They're good setups. On the A car, again, you get six setups, 2 builders. It's just the best bang for your buck. So I do want to give a shout out to Brandon and to Scott, just to super good job with the sets. If the rest of the year is as quick as these have been, it's going to be a good year in NIS. So shout out to Premier Racing Setups, and guys, if you need setups, that's where you need to go.
Yeah, look, not once during these races are we talking about setup changes. Nobody is saying, how do you loosen this up? How do you tighten this up? How do you do this? How do you do that? It's a non-discussion. I mean, I think everyone's been real happy with them. All right, David Hall, final thought.
Hopefully, if we run or Bathurst, hopefully we'll survive it. Don't have a whole lot else going on. We'll probably run Atlanta tomorrow night and maybe Sunday morning. We'll see how it goes.
Okay, John Curley, final thought.
Well, my season started off good. I hope it. I'm not going to win every race, but looking forward to it. And I will tell the listeners, I won that race with a Premier Racing setup. Okay, so they're winners. They are good, and I have no doubt they're going to keep cranking out good ones the rest of the year. I can't wait to get on Atlanta this weekend and run NIS tomorrow night. So if the season keeps going the way it is, or at least good, at least I won't quit halfway through from getting wrecked out all the time. So let's see how it goes.
Yeah, well done, John. I think the pressure's off now that you've broke through. Now you can relax, you can settle in, and just stack them up. Stack them up. All right, my final thought. Excited about Sim Sport Gadget EDU 8-inch display. Looking at it on their website, more I look at it, the more I think I made the right choice. Daniel Newman just dashes on it are going to be really neat to try out. I've never tried anything like that with a paid dashboard. I've never really ventured down that road, and so looking forward to that. It's going to be a nice upgrade to my system, and just a yell at Dave Cam. I'm going to yell Dave Cam for trying to spend my money, but I told him in his comments on his video that he should rename it trying to spend Mike's money. But with that, we'll see you on the track later.